Blessings, blessings, beautiful beings. Welcome once more to this beautiful space that we've been creating for y'all here in Tehuti Ma'at. Welcome. If you're here, please say hi in the chat so we know you're here. If you're watching the replay, also say hi. We come back and check in on our comments. Welcome to Black August, this month-long reflection that we've been hosting here in Tehuti Ma'at, dedicated to honoring Black freedom fighters, political prisoners, in just the global struggle for Black liberation and Black freedom. Taking a moment to acknowledge such a powerful month with some key dates, which includes the Haitian Revolution, which we know really kicked off the revolution, the Black Revolution and freedom of our ancestors. This is presented by Tehuti Ma'at, which is a cooperative of beautiful, beautiful souls, freedom fighters, revolutionaries, healers, educators, scholars, just powerful, powerful, powerful beings that are coming together for the resurrection of the African spirit on earth right now, fulfilling our prophecy. This is a month-long celebration. So if it's your first time here, please stay tuned in. You can watch many other daily meditations that we've had, hosted by different members of our cooperative. I am here today, so I've been holding the space, the Wednesday space. So if you don't know me, my name is Leilani Oliveira. I am a mother, a friend, a daughter, a criolla, someone that was born on Cabo Verde Island, which is my homeland, a place I love deeply. And my critical mind has been created here in the United States. So I'm also an African American woman who is just in love with life, in love with being a student of life. I'm a medicine woman, a healer, someone that's been supporting women for the last 10 years of my life in reclaiming their power, their authenticity, through healing their traumas, facing themselves, and taking inventory of what needs to change in their life and using their power to do that. I'm also a doula, so supporting women through different initiations of their lives, and a Tehuti Ma'at member. So really believe that the revolution that we are in right now, the way that we will reach victory is together. It's not going to be a one single person that is going to bring us through. It's going to be us coming together and not having a person stick out through the revolution that they can just kill again. So welcome. I'm excited for our time today. I was sitting with this time, as I always do before I arrive, thinking about the themes that I want to bring for us to reflect on, to be on, in connection to Black liberation. And what came for me is some lighter themes of love, joy, and pleasure, which I think are elements and themes that are necessary for sustainability through the fight, because of all of the other dense parts of the freedom fight. There are these really beautiful sparks of energy, of inspiration that sustain us, that keep the work light, which again is love, joy, and pleasure. So I'm going to be guiding us through different practices today while we reflect on these specific themes in our lives right now as revolutionaries, as people that have already claimed and declared our victory. Here in Tehuti Ma'at, we believe that the revolution that we want to see in the world first starts with us. So we're inviting you into this practice to, connect to your own power, to connect to your own, today, your own play, your own joy, your own pleasure. So this work can be done in a way that is sustainable, and our resilience is fed, and it's fed well. So today we're gonna go into a little flow, into a little practice, and while we're exploring those themes. And of course, as we start, I want to invite us into some breathing, just to really bring some vitality into our bodies, to bring some life force, this beautiful cosmic um, breath that is all around us into our bodies. And the way that we'll start today is with some fire breathing. Fire breaths are really, really powerful. They're aptogenetic breathing, which means that it gives the body what it needs. So if you're someone that's waking up this rise and really needing some energy, a spark, some inspiration, some turn on, to really turn your system on, it's going to give you that. And if you're someone that, already has an excess of energy and feeling anxious and wanting and needing to release that, it will do just that. It will support you in releasing. And fire breath, it's a rhythmic exhale out through the nose. Imagine like a dog who pants out with its tongue out. But instead of doing that, you're doing it through your nose. And it's a forceful exhale out. You're not worried about the inhale. The inhale happens naturally. Now, the other important part is, as you do that, you want to also be pumping in your belly button, your stomach. And what we're doing here is we're pumping this our navel. We're pumping in our solar plexus in our sacral, bringing a lot of awakening there. And at our navel, we have 60,000 nerve endings that connects to all of our major organs in the body. So it's a beautiful way to wake up the system, wake up the body, and again, bring in some life force. So we'll begin by taking a deep inhale in first, in through the nose and then out through the mouth at your own pace. We're just resetting the system before going into such a powerful breath. Doing two more at your own rhythm. Inhale slow, deep, and long. And then exhaling out through the mouth. And when you exhale, really empty out your breath, empty out your lungs. So then on your next exhale, it could be really powerful and deep and long and strong breath. And then exhaling out. And then I invite you to bring your hands together and rub them, feeling the heat that you create in between your palms. And then bringing that heat that you create, you might want to whisper something in that hand, or just intentionally bring energy, words into your hands, whatever it is that you want to bring to the body to support the body as we're going into these fire breaths. It might be grounding, it might be love, it might be ease. It might be pleasure and joy, whatever it is that you want to put into your hands, and then bring that your right hand over your heart, and then your left hand over your womb or your lower belly. And we're going to begin our fire breathing in 3, 2, 1. Again, it's an exhale. It's a powerful exhale out through the nose, while pumping in the belly button. Eyes closed, gazing upward and through the third eye. Your spine is erect. If you're sitting up, if you're laying down, you want to relax the spine. Chin slightly tucked in towards the chest to really elongate the spine. Feeling that left hand that's on top of the womb or the lower belly come in and out as you pump in the belly button. Eyes closed, gazing upward and through the third eye, using those powerful breaths to really exhale out anything that's needing to come out of the body. And letting the inhales happen naturally, bringing in whatever it is that the body needs. The body knows best. You're just focusing on the breath. Powerful breath. Really use the breath. The breath is such a powerful vehicle of change. It changes the biochemistry of the body. It's a really powerful technology. We'll do this for about 2 minutes. And if at any point you feel like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do this anymore, this is hard, we want to think this is breath work. It's almost like going to the gym. It's knowing that when you're feeling the resistance, that's exactly when the breath is working. That's when you're releasing stagnant, stuck energy and really pushing through the places that are blocked. So use that breath to serve you and serve your body. Just one more minute. Ensuring that the jaw is relaxed, the shoulders are relaxed. Chin slightly tucked in, gazing upward and through the third eye. Beautiful job. You're almost there. About 30 more seconds, maybe bring in a smile, that joy into your face. So just giving a slight smile as you finish off this last 30 seconds. Ten more seconds. Pumping in that navel. Beautiful. Now take a deep inhale in through your nose and holding the breath at the top, pulling up the lower muscles, contracting in the pulling in the belly button, pulling in the lower muscles, the vaginal wall muscles, the perineum, the anus muscles. Just pull up as you hold and pull the belly button in. Hold the breath, knowing that the exhale will come. Hold, circulate that energy that we just brought into the body, send it up into all parts of the body. Pull up, and then powerful exhale out. As you release the arms down, keeping the bringing the hands up onto the knees, keeping the eyes closed. Allowing the breath to go back to its natural rhythm and just observing the body, taking a moment to notice if there's any shifts in the body. You can now soften the belly. And just noticing any changes, noticing yourself, your body, any changes that in the mind. Beautiful job. Now staying connected to your breath throughout this time. Ah, I want to share a little bit before we go into some emotional freedom through EFT, which is known as emotional freedom technique. We'll go through um, creating some more flow into the body to really bring in those themes again of joy, love, and pleasure. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about, excuse me, if you have some water, get some water, some tea. Um, while I speak before we go into our next practice, ensuring that every time you're coming into this practice and the rising, that you're creating your space, you're giving yourself what you need to fully be present and here with us. For me, it was burning some sage and having some glass of water next to me and just taking a few breaths before I came on. For you, it might be different, trusting your intuitive knowing that you know what you need and how to make your space sacred. And I want to talk about something that is really important today, which is somatics. And somatics is a word that we hear often in the wellness space. And for me as an educator, when I teach anything, I like to simplify it and make it so easy that my 5-year-old could understand. And somatics is really important because when we think about the work of Black liberation or the play of Black liberation, there's a lot of heaviness to it, right? Heaviness from the things that our people have endured, right? The things that we have experienced that still lives in our bodies if we're not addressing it consciously, but that also exists in the collective Black body. It's dense, there's a lot of density to it. And to bring themes like joy and love and pleasure into the fight or into the work of Black liberation, somatics is really, really important. And the way that you can understand somatics in a very simple way is that it's a way of somatics is practices that we do to support us in coming into our bodies. And when I say into our bodies, is into our sensations, our feelings, all of this communication that the body is going through and experiencing every single day. But we're doing it in a conscious way because most of the time when we're thinking about density, when we're thinking about trauma, when we think about the heavy things, the heavy emotions that we deal with on a daily basis, what it does is it brings our nervous system, which there's different branches of the nervous system, and if you it you know just as it says nervous system, it's the system of the nerves, right? The parts that are the that's bringing in feelings, sensation. And it's very sensitive. Our nerves and of our bodies are very sensitive, and they're sensitive for a reason, right? The more sensitive you are, the more you're tapped in sensing your physical world and also your internal world. And this nervous system that we have has two main branches. It has the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. And the sympathetic nerve is the branch that kicks on depending on what we're experiencing in our life, but it kicks on and brings us into survival mode. And as you can imagine, a lot of people are existing from this part of our nervous system where they're in survival mode, right? Which is fight, right? A lot of people are feeling a lot of strong emotions in their bodies and they're constantly on guard, ready to fight. That's a survival mode. That's not the natural mode of the body, or even a natural state of the human. Like to always be on guard and ready to fight, that's one of the survival modes. There's also flight. So that's someone that's avoidant, that's also always trying to escape and leave, and flighty. If anything is happening, they're ready to go and escape. There's also freeze. So that's someone that's literally that frozen, right? They might be feeling really stuck in their lives, not knowing how to move forward. They're just frozen. These are survival states. This is a one branch of the nervous system of the human body that we can exist in when we're constantly overstimulated by um, things in our lives, densities in our lives, or heavy, low vibrational emotions or experiences in our lives. There's also fawning, which is a newer survival state that we're just learning about now. And the reason why we're just learning about it now is because it affects primarily women. And it's a survival state where you're essentially people pleasing, where to survive, you have learned that to survive the situation, that you have to be really tuned into the other person, ignoring your own emotions and just doing whatever they need you to do, or whatever you feel is going to regulate them or bring them into equilibrium, so you can survive that situation. And that's one branch, right? So when we talk about somatics, right, doing practices that are supporting you in coming into the body, what we're doing is we're turning that nervous system away from the sympathetic into the parasympathetic. And the parasympathetic is the branch of the nervous system that our ancestors lived their day to day on. Today in society, most of us are living through the sympathetic, right? Our survival state. We're just constantly in survival, especially here in the West, but also in other parts of the world, including Africa. There are places, even thinking about. I'm going to go home soon to Cabo Verde, but recently when I've been going back home, I'm noticing, the influence of the West back home, where people are constantly on the go, 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 constantly in survival. And why it's really important to do somatic practices, which we'll do today, to bring that nervous system into the parasympathetic, is because when you're in survival mode, there are actual parts of the brain that get shut off. So what ends up happening is you're making decisions not from the heart, not from the spirit, but from very primitive parts of your animalistic parts of the brain, which is all about survival. It's not considering or even being strategic or connected. It shuts off a lot of long-term seeing, right? Because you're in survival. So you're only focused on the here and now, which is essentially cutting off from making decisions that are aligned with your soul and spirit, and is going to lead you into your destiny. Now, that parasympathetic that I started speaking about, most of our ancestors were in the parasympathetic, right? They woke up, and the parasympathetic is when the system is turned on into rest, digest, and heal. So when you're in the parasympathetic, when your nervous system is switched on to the parasympathetic, then you're just naturally healing. Your systems are all operating in the right way. Your digestion is strong, your elimination is strong, and it's moving, right? There's a natural flow because the body is a master healer. You're making decisions that are aligned because you're restful, you're peaceful, you have a stronger ability to connect to your heart and your spirit. So you can imagine that when you're in the parasympathetic, it's much easier, and it's the only part of your system where you can actually connect to your joy, your pleasure, in love. Because if you're again in the sympathetic, you're in survival, so you're not able to really receive the simple pleasures of life, or to be able to actually be receptive to the love that is around you, or even being able to experience joy, because you're worried about surviving, right? You're worried about the potential death versus life, like taking in life, in the spark, the vitality, the light that brings in the joy. So the practice, the practice that we'll be doing today, EFT, supports us in that, and in turning on the parasympathetic, so we can have more access to life. And when we have more access to life as revolutionaries, then the work is more sustainable, right? Because everything, most of the time, um, the us being in the sympathetic is by design. It's not a coincidence, right? Because they want us to be in survival mode, so we're not able to make the strategic decisions that we need to make when we're at war, especially the spiritual war that we are in right now. If you have any questions about anything that I just shared, please ask in the chat. If there's something that you want to add that I missed, please add in the chat. We're here to grow and learn together. And let's see if there's anything else about the sympathetic that I want to add. Oh, okay. The last thing I want to add before we go into our practice is that there are 5 simple ways to turn on the parasympathetic. So we're going to be doing some practices today, which I know we've also have done. Our other sisters that have been able to come into our meditations from the co-op from Tehuti Ma'at has always also presented. So if you go back in our meditations um, throughout this month, you will find other practices that will support us in bringing our parasympathetic on. But just simple, so you know, and you can have this in your Rolodex. To turn on your parasympathetic, there's 5 things that will easily do that for you. And these 5 things, there's a huge wide range of things that each of these categories can, each of these categories have, like, one of them being breath. Obviously, there's many different pranayamas, which means breath control, breath work that you can do, breath play. And we did one of them today, but there's many. So the breath is one of the easiest ways to access your parasympathetic. So if something is happening in your life, the only thing you have control over is your breath. So use it. Breath will support you in breathing properly, will support you in turning on your parasympathetic, right? Getting into the soma, getting into the body, connecting to your senses, which is an intelligence, a communication, supporting you with understanding what's happening externally, your emotions, all of that. Breath is one. Another one is sound. So just singing, humming, speaking your emotions out loud, vocalizing. There's a long nerve called the vagus nerve that is connected to your nervous system that moves down your spine. And it's known that when you project yourself, when you use your voice, may that be humming again, singing, chanting, the vibration starts toning and activating that vagus nerve, which turns on your parasympathetic. So breath, sound, even when you're breathing and you're like, that sound communicates to the body that you're relaxed, there's no danger, that the parasympathetic can turn on. The third one is touch. So literally either a hug, touching your own body, massaging your own body, getting hugs from other people will really support in regulating your nervous system into that parasympathetic. So breath, sound, touch. Touch is so important. We are touch deprived in the West. We in 2020, I learned that we need about 4 hugs a day for survival, and most of us are not even getting 4. So our bodies are not even getting what the bare minimum of what it needs, which is just to survive, not let alone how many hugs and touches we need to thrive. So touch yourself, touch others. It really supports you in regulating yourself. So breath, sound, touch. The fourth one is movement. Movement. That might be yoga, doing asanas. That might be exercise. That's why we feel so great when we exercise. That might be, putting on some drums and just shaking. Right, shaking is another practice to turn on the parasympathetic. So movement, even walking, movement is so important. If you're bringing these things into your life every single day, um, especially continuously, what happens is you prime your body to wake up and be in the parasympathetic versus most people will wake up and be already in the sympathetic. So they're already in survival from the time they wake up. So these are things that you can bring into your life to support you in your resilience, having more attunement to joy and love and pleasure. And which else? There's one more: breath, movement, touch, sound. And orienting to your physical environment. And what I mean by orienting is just taking a moment to be actually present with the here and now. A lot of the reasons why we're in the sympathetic or we have anxiety is that because the mind is so powerful, it can oftentimes be in the future or in the past. So a practice that you can bring, or one of the ways that you can support your nervous system in being in that rest, digest, and heal, is to constantly be orienting through your eyes, orienting yourself to the physical environment that you're in, your body, like reminding yourself, like, I'm here. Looking around, taking in your environment, and reminding yourself through your vision that you're here. I'm here. I'm not there in the future and all those things that I fear, and I'm not in the past and all those things that I've experienced. I'm here. So intentionally taking your time to look around the space that you're in, remembering that you're orienting your body, your brain, that you're here and now, taking in the colors, breathing while you're doing it. In reminding yourself, you could even be repeating to yourself, I'm here. This is where I am. Wow, this is a beautiful place. Orienting yourself to your body. And those are the 5 ways that you can turn on your parasympathetic. Now let's dive into our practice. So what we're going to be doing today is a somatic practice known as emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT. And essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tapping, but we're going to be tapping at these very strategic parts of the body, which the first is our crown, right? That top, that place that, on infant babies are soft. They're like the open portal as it gets hard. So our crown right here on top of the crown, we're going to be tapping here, the right at the beginning of the eyebrow. So the eyebrow point, then right underneath our temple by the side of our eyes, then below the eye. I'm already feeling it as I'm tapping. Below the nose, above the lip, the chin, right here, where at the tip of our collarbone, and then the last place will be where the bra strap, where a woman's bra strap would be. And when we tap in these places, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing movement in flow of our what in Chinese medicine is known as qi, but also life force, or in yoga known as prana, which is this life force, like literally what emanates the body, what keeps it on. And these specific parts we're hitting are key points where many meridian points or nadis, which are channels. Like if you think about how there's blood flow in the body, right? We have these veins that move blood around the body. We also have these vein-like subtle lines in our bodies that are circulating our life force. So when we tap it, what we're doing is creating movement, like we're activating it and waking it up. So if there's any places that are stuck, stagnant, they'll start getting movement. And it's known as the emotional freedom technique because oftentimes this technique is to support you in freeing your emotions. So any stuck emotions that you have will create tight, dense muscles, and these tight muscles constrict these meridian points or these meridian lines, the flow of energy. So we're going to be releasing old energies and making room for more flow of our emotion, more vitality, and therefore more enjoyment, right? More joy and happiness and play and pleasure into our lives. So to begin, find a comfortable place that you want your body to be in, that you feel comfortable in. If you're sitting down, you might want to scoot forward in your chair to just plant the four corners of your feet onto the floor. And all you have to do is repeat after me. And with EFT, what we say is, even though we bring in the emotion or the things that we're feeling are alive in the body, even though fill in the blank, I still completely and deeply love and accept myself. So you bring up what's there and then you release it through total acceptance and love for yourself. So connecting to your breath, finding a beautiful place that you want to be in, or a posture that you want to be in, a comfortable posture that you want to be in. Ideally sitting up for this, spine straight, spine erect, strong in your posture. And before we begin, I want you to just tune into your body, notice what's there. Notice what emotions are alive for you this rise in your body. Is there some sadness? Is there grief? Is there anger? Is there anxiety? Just noticing first the body. It's always good to notice the body before and after any practice. And then we'll begin first with the karate point that I didn't share, but we start here. So using your 4 fingers or 2 fingers, you want to begin tapping at the karate chop point, beginning our practice, our emotional freedom technique. Just begin to tap, feeling your own tap. You don't want to tap too hard that you're hurting yourself, but you want to affirm tap. So again, you're really waking up these energetic points that are connected to so many thousands of meridians. Tapping. And again, you just want to repeat after me. Even though I've experienced fears of the future, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've experienced fears of the future, there is these fears that I have of the future, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And we're going to, in these things that we'll be saying out loud, I created them thinking through all of our chakras. So we'll first start with the root chakra and we'll kind of move up to each one. So even though there are fears that I've had of the future, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then moving up to the crown. Even though I've overthought and there's been racing thoughts in my mind about the future, about my security, even though there's been racing thoughts about the future, about my security, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Beautiful job. And then going to the eyebrow point. Even though sometimes I am unsure about the future and don't always know what is coming next, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Beautiful. Make sure you're tapping that you can feel yourself. And some of these points might be sensitive. That's okay. That's just information for you to have. Coming down to the point underneath your temples, by your eyes. Even though the world is changing so much, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Let's do that one again. Even though there's so much drastic, big changes in the world right now, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Moving down underneath the eyes. Even though the economy is changing so much and I've had worries about money, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though the economy is shifting so much and I've had worries about money, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Going underneath the nose. Even though I've had moments of anxiety, I've had moments of instability, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And allowing the breath to go in and out as it needs, as the body's releasing. Even though I can sometimes be worried about those in my life that I love, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though sometimes I might have thoughts of worries of those that I love that are around me, I still deeply and completely love myself. Beautiful. Coming to the collarbone, beginning of the collarbone. And really tap. This is a really sensitive part because it's right next to the thymus gland, right next to the heart. But we're staying up. You can also tap the heart. But right now we're doing just at the beginning of the collarbone. You can really tap your whole body, but right now we're focusing on 7 key points. Even though I've experienced heartbreak and grief, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've experienced grief and heartache, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, moving to that bra strap under your arms. Even though I've experienced disappointment about the state of the world, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've experienced feelings of disappointment of the world, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Beautiful. Now coming to the karate chop point. Even though it hasn't felt safe in the past to receive pleasure, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Moving on to the top of the crown. Even though I've experienced moments of scarcity, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Coming to the eyebrow point. Even though I have had moments of shame, of receiving pleasure. I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And as you could tell, we're going through like some dense emotions, and we're just, taking in the full experience, right? Taking out like, yes, I experience shame. I might experience grief. I might experience heartache, but I still accept myself. I still love myself. I could still be present in it. So we acknowledge and then we release. And then we'll go through cycles of really bringing in the good stuff. Right now, we're just releasing the things that might be stuck, going beside the I now. Even though even though others have projected things to me and have judged me, I still completely love and accept myself. Underneath the I, even though I've experienced moments of not knowing what to do next, I still deeply and completely love myself. Going underneath the nose, even though I've experienced moments of deep sadness, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Underneath the lip, even though there's been moments that the world has tried to silence me and silence my truth, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And moving on to the collarbone, even though I've experienced grief, even though I've experienced grief, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Bra strap point. Even though I've had moments of disappointment, moments of heartache, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, beautiful. Relaxing the arms down and just shaking it out. And taking deep breaths, shake out the hands, the chest, the neck, the head. We're just going to release that, let that reset before we start bringing in some good things, some good programming in. We're just going to shake that out. I accept that I feel all these dense emotions. I still love myself, even though I'm human and get to travel through all of these different emotions of deep emotions of grief and anger and sadness. I still deeply love and accept myself. Making whatever sounds and breath you need to make to just close out that release and shake out that release. And then coming back to the karate chop point and tapping. And now we're going to flow through the whole thing. So we're going to acknowledge, process, release, but also program in good things. Even though the world is changing drastically, I still deeply and completely love myself. I feel stable, grounded through all of the change. Even though the world is changing drastically and in big ways, I still completely love and accept myself. I am grounded, stable, secure. Beautiful. Coming to the top of the crown. Even though I've had moments of overthinking, I still deeply, completely love and accept myself. I love my mind. I have a stable, strong mind. Even though I've had moments of overthinking, I still deeply and completely love myself. I have a strong and stable mind. I have a strong and stable mind. I have a strong and stable mind. Really tap that in. I have a strong and stable mind. Moving on to the eyebrow point. Even though I've had moments of not knowing what is to come next, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I am a seer. My vision is clear. I am a seer. My vision is clear. Tuning into whatever the breath needs to cycle out, in and out. Even a yawn is good. Yawning is a good way to release emotions. Then coming to the side of the face. Even though I've experienced grief and sadness and anger, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've had moments and experiences of grief, sadness, and anger, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. I cycle through my emotions naturally. I cycle through emotions naturally. I cycle through emotions naturally. Emotions are my friends. They bring in data and information to me. Emotions are my friend. They bring data and information to me. Then going underneath the eyebrow point. Even though I've had moments of not knowing where money is going to come from, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Prosperity is all around me. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Prosperity is all around me. Beautiful. Coming underneath the nose, above the lips, start tapping there. And you can change your hands too if your arms get tired. You could do both hands. You could do just one and change and alternate if you need it. Even though there's been moments that they've tried to silence me, I still deeply and completely love myself. I love to speak truth. I love to speak truth. I speak truth easily. I speak truth easily. Truth is a form of power, and I use it responsibly. Truth is a form of power, and I use it responsibly. Beautiful job. Coming down underneath the lips. Even though there's been moments where I have felt the heaviness of life, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've had moments of experiences the heaviness of life, I still deeply and completely love myself. I receive and welcome joy into my life. I balance out the density by receiving joy into my life. I balance out the density by receiving and being open to joy in my life. I love to experience joy. Beautiful. Now going to the collarbone. Coming down to the collarbone. Even though I've had moments of not feeling free, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've had moments of not feeling free, I still deeply and completely love myself. I am already free. I am free to love. I am free to receive joy. I am free to receive pleasure, all forms of pleasure. I am wired for pleasure. I am wired for joy. I am wired to receive and give joy. Beautiful. We're almost there. Closing out our practice, coming into underneath the armpit by the bra strap. Even though I've had moments of heartache, of my heart breaking, of sadness, of anger, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've experienced moments of heartache, of heartbreak, of sadness, of anger, of grief, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. I love my sensitivity. I have a big, beautiful, open heart. My heart is light. I cycle emotions and receive the information I am meant to receive from them and then release them. My body is open. My sensations are soft and sensitive. I love to feel. I am open to feeling. I am open to receiving pleasure. I am open to receiving pleasure. Beautiful job. And then you can release the arms out. And again, do some shaking. Allowing the breath to go in and out. Deep, strong inhales and exhales. Shaking the neck, the head, forward and back, side to side. And then just placing your hands again on your heart. Just taking a moment here. Yawns are good. When we yawn, that means our vagus nerves has toned and we're turning on the parasympathetic. The yawning is a great signal from the body that the parasympathetic is being turned on. And just taking a moment here to just notice that subtle energy that might be flowing and moving in your body, just noticing the subtle realm, the subtle flow of energy. Noticing where you're feeling the most. Oh. Taking a moment to just meditate, to notice, to receive, noticing what's coming through, where this flow of energy is taking you. Beautiful. Now releasing the arms down and coming back. Into the screen, into our time. Doing some really good, yummy yawns. I hope and trust that this practice served you. Thank you for joining us yet again, your commitment to yourself, to us, to Black liberation, to coming in to heal from the inside out, to liberate from the inside out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when we come here every rise or when there's new videos that we post as a cooperative. There's so much goodness, so many great things happening in our ecosystem, in our universe, so many beautiful, beautiful programs and offerings and retreats. And one of them being sexual alchemy, which we are currently receiving beautiful souls in this moment. You can learn more about this powerful retreat at sexualalchemy.com. And essentially, this retreat is about embodying your power. It's about root level healing. And this retreat is a space for people of African ascent, descent, and essentially, yeah, people that want to embody their power during this time. You know, they want to wield the power that they have to create to create the life that they want, the liberation that they want within themselves in the world. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know about that, or there's an inquiry interest form on the website that you can go and fill in, and we'll be in contact with you. So please check that out. It will. The retreat is happening in February of next year, from the 5th to the 12th. It's a 7-day retreat. And then also, we are receiving love through donations. So if you're here, if you watched, if you were able to be with us, and you gained anything from this time and feel from your heart that you want to share some love with us, feel free to share a donation at the Cash App that you see below at Tehuti Ma'at World. We also have study sessions that we're doing together through our program Think, where we'll be studying the book Asata Shakur, studying a really powerful sister that has brought so much freedom to us, that followed her heart, her courage, and has contributed greatly to our Black liberation. In the next study session will be August 31st at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So we hope that you come in more intimately with us and you join any of these programs or you ask any questions. Tehuti Ma'at is also open to members. So we are a cooperative of revolutionary spirits, and we are calling more in because we know that there are more that are seeking out a community where their vision is nourished, nurtured, and fully seen. So you can check that out at tehutimaat.org //join. And you can check out the different ways to join the militia. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. It is always a pleasure. And again, we'll be here tomorrow. So I and who and Neff, who will be here guiding us. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.